We've already covered some examples of things that we hate, but now we're taking a look at the complete opposite. Here are top 5 things we love.
Number 10.
Number 5 we have is the DJ's cheap pricing effects, or general double the range effects or whatever. So we all hate it that we have to essentially pay so much money in order to essentially max to the next level, or just, getting them to the next level. Especially when these prices just go up to an insane amount. Well, with the DJ's, cheap effect discount, you can essentially have a 20% decrease to the upgrades prices. And I cannot tell you how insanely useful and satisfying this is. From something going from 30,000, which is, I'm pretty sure, I think it's like 32,000, I can't remember how much, for the accelerator's max upgrade, all the way down to 27,000, it feels like you might be blessed by some sort of god or something like that. And there are a ton of other towers, or units as you could say, that essentially have prices that go up into an insanity amount. Like for an example, I believe the army camp goes up to like 20,000 or something like that. There's also the Rocketeer who goes up to like 14,000, I'm pretty sure. And there's also a ton of others that go up to an insane amount of money that it literally feels atrocious that you have to save up that kind amount of money instead of upgrading other troops or placing down other things or upgrading anything else. Instead, you have to essentially save up that amount of money to that specific upgrade for that specific troop.
Number 4.
Number 4, when you earn a badge from an achievement. Now, I'm talking about, for an example, the game, not the game pass, but like the quest reward badges here, but also for live events or whatever. Like for an example, the one we got for the egg one, I thought it was okay. It wasn't really something that was just, mind blowing, but I gotta say it was better than the lunar event. Aside from that, getting a badge feels very rewarding. I want to take a quick field trip back into the good old days of when you first started to play TDS. You remember those good old days when, Gravedigger was insanely hard, or Molten was impossible, and Fallen was pretty much non-completable, and then when you were able to finally complete every one of those game modes difficulties and you got a sweet looking badge. But not only that, you also got to beat the other 3 special-ish game bosses, such as the furry, the buffalo dude, and then finally the skeleton. Beating those guys is quite the challenge, especially when you are a new player, aka just started getting into the groove of things, don't have that many good towers. So when you finally are able to beat these guys and get a sweet, I guess, ish badge, it makes you feel quite powerful.
Number 7.
Number 3, when you max out your farms. So we all love farms, and I know you guys heard it so many times about how I like to use the farms and how people who don't use them are literal psychopaths. Well, when you max them out, it is literally the best feeling ever. Yes, I know you are seeing the OG farm skin, and not gonna lie, it still looks okayish, especially like the bluish neon, tree leaves and stuff like that. The amount of money at the start of each wave you get is game changing. Like as an example, the first few levels of the farms don't even give you that much. It gives you 50, then to 100, then 250, and really it's not that much. However, once you unlock them to like level 4, where they start giving you to 750, that is pretty much insane. But not only that, you can place 8 of these puppies down, and if they're all maxed out, you get essentially $12,000 every single start of the wave, or at the start of every single new wave. And this changes literally everything in the game. You know how I just said essentially saving up and purchasing the upgrades for troops is incredibly annoying and how it's such a long and tedious process? Well, combining the farm and the DJ, they are able to essentially decrease the amount of money you will generally need by a long shot.
Number 6.
Number 2, when they buff a tower you personally use or just like. Now, a lot of you guys know that I use Accelerator most of the time, and I'm pretty sure everyone uses them because, I mean, like, why wouldn't you? But also that one of my other favorite towers is actually the minigunner. Well, specifically the golden minigun. And when they decided to do this long rework, I guess overhaul thing, I do really like this new minigunner because in my opinion he seems to be pretty damn good. Sure, he's not as powerful as the minigunner, like not even like close. Well, kinda, but not close at all is what I'm saying. But when you place down multiple of these bad boys, they will do a ton of damage. Nowhere near as close as the accelerator, okay? But what I'm saying is, essentially, when I saw that the minigunner was essentially changed again, I was originally pissed because, I mean, like, you wouldn't be pissed when your favorite troop was changed. But when it's for the better, that's when it's great. An honorable mention is something I didn't want to put on the list was the quests when you get a really good crate or whatever from a weekly thing. I didn't want to put it on here because number one, I didn't want it to sound like I was just consistently milking the entire questing, which I pretty much was, but I'm just like, screw it, it's not really important anymore. And number two, they just nerfed these guys back to Naraka. Like, holy shit, these have gotten even worse. So that's why they're not on the list.
Number 1.
Check this out.
Number 1 we have is buying the golden chest. Well, crate, however you want to call it. Now, we all know how extremely expensive this thing is. 50,000 gold is what it costs for you to unlock a skin. And not any skin, it is a gold skin. But not is it only just a gold skin that is just, well, gold, but this gold skin comes with some buffs. As an example, the Scouts. The Scout was one of, the starter towers, not that good at all, and once you get to like intermediate or like advanced level, pretty much the Scout is just completely useless. However, when they gave this guy, or giving this guy a golden skin, made him a very damn good beginning of the game starter towers. Now, these gold skins, what exactly do they do? Well, sometimes they actually, or most of the times, they just buff the damage they do by a little bit of an amount, but also they usually sometimes decrease the prices or increase the prices for the upgrades. But not only that, they also give other buffs such as better ranges, better stats of rate of fire, and sometimes, sadly, they would actually increase the amount it costs to place them down, which sucks in my opinion. But hey, they are complete upgrades than their original character. So yeah, these gold skins are very, very good. Now, these do come at a costly amount at 50k, like I just said, but there aren't too many characters with these gold hybrid variants. So they're the only ones that are currently, which at the top of my head is the Crook Boss, the Cowboy, the Minigunner, Scout Soldier, and then there is the Pyro. Now, out of all of them, I think obviously the very best one is Minigunner, then it's Crook Boss, and then God knows what. But these gold skins, as you level them up with their character, they essentially get cooler and cooler looking until essentially they're doing a ton of damage, having a very fast rate of fire, and well, they look pretty nice.